Hey, shalom, guys. Welcome to another episode of Heaven, Hell, and Life After Death. Today is going to be kind of a different one. So as you know, if you've been watching the series, keeping up with it, basically, I am presenting the fact that when we die, doesn't matter if we're good or bad, we go to Sheol or Hades, right? Sheol in the Hebrew, Hades in the Greek, right here. We are then resurrected, right? There is a resurrection of the righteous and the unrighteous. Okay, as Acts 24:15 brings up. We are then judged on our deeds, as John 5:28-30 brings out. We will be judged on our past behaviors, basically. Essentially, that's what it is. Then, based on that, we will either inherit everlasting life or we will be destroyed, essentially, right? That's it. That's that's it. Now, the ones who will inherit eternal everlasting life, obviously they will live on a perfect earth because the New Jerusalem in Revelation 21, verse like 1-5, talks about the New Jerusalem coming down. We will be with him, and it'll be wonderful, joyous, everything like that. That's what the Bible says. Now, there are still so many Christians that will push this idea that when we die, we go to heaven, and they try to make a sad situation as positive as they can. Now, don't get me wrong. When my grandma passed away, she passed away. It was November 25th, 2009, and I want to say I was a freshman in high school, and I was completely devastated. I was destroyed on the inside, and I just I was so I was just destroyed. Part of that even led me to be a little bit suicidal. I was so I was destroyed. That was my best friend, and I lost my best friend. I thought I was alone in the world now. In that moment, I would have loved for someone to say, "Look, Will, your grandmother's in heaven. Even now, right? Oh, Will, your grandmother's looking down on you in heaven. Oh, you're married, Will. Oh, your grandmother's so happy. Oh, Will, your grandmother's looking down on you and your two beautiful kids, and she's so happy for you." That makes us feel good inside. It does. But that's not the case at all. That is not what the Bible says. Us as students of the Bible, we need to be realistic. We need to stop going with our feelings and imagining this false narrative that just is not true, guys. Now, there are Christians that still push this idea that when, we die, we go to heaven and they make it all joyous. So today, I want to tackle one of those Christian websites. So I'm going to pull it up right here. This is called GotQuestions.org. So right here, they ask the question, what does the Bible say about soul sleep? Okay. Here's the answer. Soul sleep is a belief that after a person dies, his/her soul sleeps until the resurrection and final judgment. The concept of soul sleep is not biblical. When the Bible describes a person sleeping in uh, relation to death, Luke 8:52, 1 Corinthians 15:6, it does not mean literal sleep. Sleeping is just a way to describe death because a dead body appears to be asleep. The moment we die, we face judgment of God. Hebrews 9:27. For believers to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. 2 Corinthians 5:6-8 and Philippians 1:23. For unbelievers, death means everlasting punishment in hell. Luke 16:22-23. So I'm going to stop right there real quick, and we're going to kind of tackle this whole thing. So here is my response to GotQuestions.org. What does the Bible say about soul sleep? So, of course, here is the quote itself. Now, let's kind of talk about this. So, when we say soul sleep, what are we saying? We're not saying that we're legitimately asleep. Okay. No one is going to go to a grave site, yell and scream with a megaphone, stomp up and down in hopes that the dead will rise again. That's not what that means when me, me personally, when I say I believe in soul sleep, I'm not saying that they are literally sleeping, right? The master, Yeshua, when he came to the world, he spoke in parables, right? It is a parable to say that someone dead is asleep because there's going to be resurrection of the righteous and the unrighteous. So everyone will be brought back to life eventually, but it's not the same. It's not literally asleep. It's just a phrase we say because it corresponds to what the master said. It's not literally that. So for them to bring up, right? For them to let me pull it back up real quick. For them to literally say here, that's what it means. That is complete baloney. That's straw manning the argument, and that's just not good. So going back over here now, we do not face judgment after we die. All right. There's the resurrection and then there's the judgment. So again, I have videos on this of where are the dead. I have a video on the judgment and the resurrection. Please go watch those videos. And I'm going to make a lot of references to those videos, but please go watch it. Go watch my resurrection video, go watch my judgment video, and go watch my Where Are the Dead video. Those I go in so much detail. I'm going to be regurgitating the same thing. So go watch those. But I did throw some verses up. Daniel 12:2, Acts 24:15, 1 Corinthians 15:52, and Revelation 20, verse 13. It all says we are asleep within the dust of the earth. We will be resurrected, and then there's a judgment, right? It's all right there. Acts 24:15 talks about the righteous and the unrighteous being brought back to dead. So you can't even make the argument of, oh, well, only the good guys will be resurrected and then everyone else will just stay dead. No, it's going to be a resurrection of the good guys and the bad guys. And we're going to be facing judgment. And then we're going to receive our just rewards, meaning we're either going to get everlasting life or we're going to get everlasting torment. And again, even torment's not even little. So now this also was my biggest thing, and I have a video on this. I have a video talking about First Corinthians. I think it's First Corinthians. Hold on, let me pull that verse up real quick. So where it says right here, 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 6-8, right? Verse 8 is the specific one that they're focusing in on here. For to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. And in Philippians chapter 1, verse 23, which says, I am hard pressed between the two. My desire is to depart and be with Christ, who is far better. Okay. That's what that's talking about. I have a video talking about those two verses specifically. Read the whole thing in context, guys. And when you read the whole thing in First and Second Corinthians right here, the whole thing is literally telling him that he feels disgusted in his tent, basically his body. Because it's sin, it's a sinful nature. He wants to not be clothed with this body anymore, and he awaits to be clothed with his new body. Because when Paul has his new body, Paul knows he's going to pass judgment. Paul knows his name is in the book of life. He is saved. He's going to inherit everlasting life. I don't think even any Christian actually argues that Paul's not going to be saved. He will then get his perfect body and he will be with Christ. So when he says to be absent from the bodies and be present with the Lord, that's what he's talking about. Not when he dies, boom, bam, he gets a new body. He's hanging out in heaven, chilling with God, Jesus. No, that's not what it's talking about at all. Again, read the whole context, and I have a video on it. Very similar thing with Philippians chapter 1, verses 23, where, he talks about the struggle to preach the gospel, but also to be out of this body. He wants to be done. How Paul describes it is he's running that race and he wants to be done running that race, right? But at the end of the race, it's the crown of life, right? He's tired of running it, but he's going to keep running it, obviously. So that's all that means. So the new body here, we see it in Psalms 17:15, Romans 6:4, and 1 Corinthians 15. Go ahead and read verses 35-58. It's very detailed and it's a lot of good stuff. So now going back to what does the Got Questions thing. So Moving on to the second paragraph. It's a short little paragraph, guys. Go ahead and you can look it up. But I just thought this was no offense or anything. I just thought this was such an idiotic claim to be made by GotQuestions. So I just wanted to tackle it. But all right, continue on. Until the final resurrection, though, there is a temporary heaven paradise in Luke 23:43, 2 Corinthians 12:4, and a temporary hell or Hades, Revelation 1:18 and verse 20, 13 to 14. As can be clearly seen in Luke 16:19-31, neither in paradise nor in Hades are people sleeping. That's just so incorrect. It could be said though that a person's body is sleeping while his soul is in paradise or Hades. Now, this is real quick before I get into the verses. This is such an idiotic thing to say. Literally, right? Go to the second sentence right here. As can be clearly seen in Luke 16:19-31, neither in paradise nor in Hades are people sleeping. Right? Then the third sentence after that one is, it could be said though that a person's body is sleeping while his soul is in paradise or Hades. It's like you're contradicting yourself, right? Like, what is it? You're saying that, oh, it clearly says in Luke, but it could be said that, these people, man. Anyways, let's go on. So yeah, we have that right there. So okay. So real quick, in Luke chapter 23, verse 43, and in 2 Corinthians 12:4 here, it does not say a temporary heaven. That is a lie. Go back and look those verses up for yourself. It's complete, it's hogwash. It just doesn't exist. It's not there, right? Specifically in Luke here, it talks about the thief on the cross, which again, guys, I have a video for. Please go check that out, right? Specifically, though, they're focusing on the part, today you'll be with me in paradise. All right. In my video, I go over the whole comma controversy because where did Jesus go that day? He descended into hell, as the creed says, hell as in Hades. That's where he descended. He went down to hell. He went down to Hades. So was he in paradise today? No. Common sense will tell you, as I tell you today, comma, as in, as I'm telling you right now, this very moment, you will be with me in paradise. What is he saying here? You will be part of that resurrection on the righteous. Your name is in the book of life. You will have everlasting life, right? But you need to sleep in the dust of the earth, wait for my resurrection, right? Wait for me to call you from the grave to be brought back to life, and then that's it. So their hermeneutics with this whole idea is just complete garbage. It's complete garbage, and honestly, guys, it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating to just kind of hear how they interpret certain verses. So now going on to the whole temporary hell thing, which is just to me a joke. Because you can't, if you're going to make a website and write an article talking about hell, you need to say what you're saying. What is hell? When you say hell, do you mean Hades? Do you mean Gehenna? Do you mean Tartarus? Because those are three separate things, right? Even more specifically, do you mean Sheol? Do you mean the pit? Do you mean the lake of fire? What hell is that referring to? You need to be specific. So when you say hell, it's like, I'm not even sure exactly what you mean here, right? So, anyways, but again, though, Revelation 1:18 and 20:13 does not talk about a temporary hell. It talks about those being resurrected from Hades. You're resurrected and you're judged. Like that's it. And that's it. It's so clear because again, in Acts 2:34 here, it says that for it was not David who ascended into heaven. Okay. So David didn't ascend to heaven. Where's David? The whole Christian idea is if you're good, you go to heaven. If you're bad, you go to hell. Hell, not just being the place for unconscious or resting or asleep souls. It is like, you know, the whole Satan's all red. He has a pitchfork. He throws you in boiling hot water and you're burning there for eternity, right? So what is he? Where is he? Obviously, guys, he's sleeping. He's asleep within the dust of the earth. David will hear the Messiah call his name. David will come up. I'm pretty sure David's name is written in the book of life, right? Very respected. One of, if not one of the greatest kings to ever live. So it's just, yeah. So, but let's continue on. Let's finish this mumbo jumbo real quick. So here, at the resurrection, this body is awakened. Again, I don't understand why they're saying we don't believe in soul sleep, but then they're talking about at the resurrection, your body is awakened. It just seems like it contradicts. Oh, we don't believe in soul sleep. Okay, well then, but then you just said the body is awakened at the resurrection. Doesn't make any sense. And transformed into the everlasting body, a person will possess for eternity. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, when we are awakened, we will get the perfect body. Yeah, absolutely. Whether in heaven or in hell. See, because when you talk about heaven here, we will live on the earth, right? Because New Jerusalem descends from the bottom. Go back and read Revelation chapter 21, very beginning, talks about that, right? We're going to live in the New Jerusalem. Where's New Jerusalem? Descends from heaven, comes down. It's common sense. So what's underneath that? Oh, it's the new heavens and the new earth, right? What does Matthew say in chapter 5? What is Yeshua's own words? The righteous will possess the earth, okay? Even one question I ask people is, what if Adam never sinned? What would happen to him? Him and Eve never sinned. They'd still be alive because it was through sin that death came in. So if they never sinned, there would be no death, right? That's whole God's entire purpose for us to live on a perfect earth. That's why in Isaiah and in Revelation it says there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. But anyways, I'll keep on reading. So at the resurrection, this body is awakened and transformed to an everlasting body, a person who possess for eternity, whether in heaven or on earth. Those who were in paradise will be sent to the new heavens and the new earth. It doesn't make any sense. So we're in paradise, but from paradise we're gonna be sent to the new heavens and the new earth. Make that make sense. Got questions? What is paradise then? Like, I'm so confused. What is paradise? So paradise is not heaven. Paradise is not the new earth. What's paradise? It just does not make any sense. To the new earth, yes. And Revelation 21, right there, the new heavens and the earth, as I said earlier. Those who were in Hades will be thrown into the lake of fire. Okay, well, they weren't. Everyone was in Hades, right? So you have to be more specific. So Hades here, we're resurrected from Hades to be on earth, right? And then you will be thrown into the lake of fire. Those whose names are not found within the book of life, they will be thrown into the lake of fire, right? Death and Hades and the false prophet and Hasatan, right? The devil, Satan will be thrown in there, right? These are the final eternal destinations of all people based entirely on whether or not a person trusted in Jesus for salvation. And yeah, if you the Bible does say though on your deeds, right? John 5:20-30 says Yeshua even says on your deeds you will be judged. And then also in Romans 10:9 and 10, if you believe that Jesus is Lord and that God raised him from the dead, you will receive everlasting life. So believe though, right? You got to actually like legitimately believe it. You can't just tell your pastor, your priest that you believe that and then have your own opinion, right? Because he can read our thoughts and our minds and everything like that. So overall, though, towards this end, I would kind of agree with, but there's just a lot here, separating the difference between paradise and the new heavens and new earth. That paradise will be on the earth, right? You don't go from paradise to the new earth. That doesn't make any sense. So I didn't mean to go on the super long rant. I just wanted to give my opinion on some of these things. Finally, though, and this is just When I read this article, I've seen some of their videos regarding this topic, and it really bothers me and upsets me because these people have now put themselves in a position of teaching. Okay. When you are a teacher, whether it's on social media, whether it's part of a congregation, people are listening and watching you. So when you say something, people will follow you, right? They will hear your teaching and go with it, not necessarily test it. If you say something they think it's good, they'll just go with it, right? So James chapter 3, verse 1, right? And here's my warning to Got Questions and to everyone. Let not many of you become teachers, my brethren, knowing that as such we will incur a stricter judgment. Okay? We will incur a stricter judgment. Because if we put ourselves in a position where we think we know something and we're talking about that subject and you're wrong, you have now misled an entire group of people. My identity with We Are Asleep Till Death, I'm willing to debate anyone on this topic. I will also call out people that I see this false narrative being preached. Whether there's a distinction between the paradise and the what's it called, the new heaven or anything like that. At the end of the day, guys, we don't go to heaven. Again, it sounds good. It sounds great to hear that our loved ones are looking down on us and seeing the wonderful things that we're doing, knowing that, like, oh, I'm making them proud. That's just not what the Bible says. If you want to believe in that, believe in that. But if you're going to be a serious Bible student, and if this Bible is your holy book, you got to know it. That's just not what it says. So, this was my response to Got Questions concerning soul sleep. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are now realizing a lot more truths that are being said during this entire thing. So please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And with that being said, guys, shalom.